Can you imagine that this is the first video on this YouTube channel in 7 years? And despite that, I still call myself a YouTuber, because at heart, I am. I've been on YouTube for a while, pretty much since right after it launched. That can't be a surprise though, because for a kid in his first couple years of university, what else is there to do? I mean, YouTube was made for college kids. I watched the first few viral videos, and I watched a 2-year-old and 9-year-old Justin Bieber drumming before he was a superstar, and then I started to meet regular new people through their daily video blogs. YouTube was where I wanted to be all day, every day. So I was, and that led me to start creating. I posted cover songs, I hosted a video podcast, and I dabbled in some short sketches, and I did it all before it was all popular to do it. I did it all because I loved it. Creating was a way for me to express myself, and YouTube was my platform. And even though my stuff probably wasn't being seen by many, if any, people, just putting it out there is where the enjoyment and fulfillment came from. But at some point I stopped. That was about the same time I decided I needed to get my post-university life together and figure out what I was going to do to make money. I decided I wanted to be a sports broadcaster and that I was going to do everything and anything possible to get there. So I started doing play-by-play, feature stories, and hosting more podcasts, and eventually I got to where I wanted to be. In fact, today, professionally, I'm pretty happy with where I am. I'm not a sports broadcaster anymore, but I am still creating, and I'm doing it for money. But in the time that it took me to get here, I stopped creating for the sake of creating. I lost something that was so important to me, and I didn't even notice. Then YouTube hit the jackpot, and in the process, so did many of its creators who continued to post content, and if their content struck a chord, they could reach a massive audience and possibly make a living from doing it. And here I was, sitting on the sidelines. For a long time, I was resentful. I left YouTube to find something I was good at and passionate about that could make me money, only to find out that what I was passionate about at the start could have made me money in the end. Now that sounds like regret, and to a certain extent it is, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is about the here and now, and what am I gonna do about it? It's clear to me that creatively expressing myself is what I love doing, and it's probably what I'm best at doing. But with YouTube these days, there's an undertone of creating with a purpose to gain a following and eventually monetize. It's kind of like where I tried to get to a few years ago. TV. I assume that's why a lot of people get in the YouTube game these days, for a fear of missing out on all that potential benefit, or FOMO. For me, it's a little different. For years now, since the explosion of digital video, I've been watching people do what they love, create, and they've been doing it in so many cool ways that it's made me want to do it again. But I haven't. I've been watching from afar, hesitant to get back in the game. I've done that out of a fear of the bubble bursting. In essence, that I'll put all this energy and effort into YouTube, and then YouTube will no longer be. It'll no longer be popular, it'll no longer be meaningful, it'll no longer be impactful. It's kind of like the opposite of FOMO, the fear of overinvesting. But is that a good enough reason not to create? I just finished explaining why I loved YouTube initially. It's because I loved creating and it gave me a platform. And that platform is still there. And whether anyone watches now or I build a following or that following disappears down the road, none of that really matters. What matters is creating. So that's what I'm gonna do. And there's no better place than YouTube to do it.